Let us begin with what is ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT is a AI-powered language model developed by OpenAI company. It processes text-based inputs, understands the context, and generates the human-like responses. Businesses, educators, and developers use it for tasks such as customer support, content creation, code assistance, and language translation. Well, ChatGPT can do almost anything. If you have a business setup like e-commerce, portal, and if you want to make a chatbot for a customer support, then ChatGPT can help you on that. If you are a student and want to learn new topic or a new subject, you can just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you the proper explanation in a simple words. If you are a programmer or a developer, then if you want to learn new programming language or if you want to solve some problems, then you can just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will provide you the solutions, the code. The programmers can also use ChatGPT to debug the code, to review the code. If you want to translate one language into another language, you can take a help of ChatGPT as well. For example, if you want to translate English language into Hindi, then ChatGPT can do that. If you want to translate English into Spanish or Japanese or Russian, okay, so ChatGPT does a lot of stuff, and most of the people nowadays using ChatGPT for their day-to-day work. Well, let us understand what exactly is ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So let us understand these terms one by one. So here, chat part means it's built to interact with the users in a conversational way. You ask something and it responds just like a human would. Okay. Next, generative. Generative means it creates or generates new responses on the fly. Unlike simple chatbots that rely on preset answers, ChatGPT can come up with unique replies each time. Next, pre-trained means it was trained on a huge amount of data, including books, articles, and websites. This pre-training helps it understand a wide range of topics. Next, transformer. Well, transformer refers to the advanced AI model that makes ChatGPT so powerful. It processes your input and predicates the best possible next word to give you a meaningful answer. So this is how the ChatGPT looks in a nutshell. Next, let us see why is ChatGPT so popular. Well, ChatGPT is popular because it is flexible and helps people in many ways. It can be used by the writers, students, professionals, and businesses to make tasks easier and faster. For example, content generation. Well, ChatGPT is so popular for its ability to help with content generation. You can use it to write a blog post, articles, creative stories, reports, and much more. It saves time and boosts your productivity. Next, another reason for its popularity is that it helps people learn. If you don't understand something, you can ask ChatGPT and it will explain it in simple words. Next, many people use ChatGPT as a personal assistant. It can help you write emails, organize your tasks, or even plan an event. It's like having a virtual helper. Next, for businesses, ChatGPT is a valuable tool. It can help with creating marketing content, summarizing long reports, and even automating customer support. So this makes it very useful in the corporate world. If you are a programmer or a developer, then if you want to learn new programming language or if you want to solve some problems, then you can just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will provide you the solutions, the code. The programmers can also use ChatGPT to debug the code, to review the code. So these are the common reasons why the ChatGPT is so popular. Next, let us quickly take a look into the evolution of ChatGPT. GPT-1. So the first version of GPT called GPT-1 was released in 2018. It could generate basic text but wasn't very advanced. In 2019, GPT-2 came out. It was larger and much better at generating coherent responses. GPT-3 was released in 2020 and was a game changer. It had 175 billion parameters, which made it extremely powerful. It could write essays, generate code, and handle complex tasks. GPT-4. So this is the latest version and it was launched in 2023. It's even more advanced because it can understand both text and images. This makes it highly versatile and useful in many new ways. So this is the quick overview of evolution of ChatGPT. Hey there everyone, Ramesh here, back again with another video. In this video, we will walk through the process of setting up your ChatGPT account and understanding the available pricing plans. Whether you are using ChatGPT for free or considering the paid version, this video will help you get started. Well, why setting up an account is important? To use ChatGPT, you need an OpenAPI account. Creating an account is easy and gives you access to ChatGPT's powerful features. Once you have an account, you can use ChatGPT to learn new things, writing articles, solving problems, and much more. Well, one more important point here is, without creating an account, you can also use ChatGPT. But if you create an account, then you will get access to a lot of free features. Okay. Next, let us go ahead and let us see how to create an OpenAPI account. So here, just open the web browser and in a new tab, just type chatgpt.com and hit enter. So this is the user interface of ChatGPT. And if you look at the free version over here, ChatGPT 4.0 mini. So this is the free version of ChatGPT model. Next, in order to create an account, go ahead and click on this sign up button. But before that, without creating an OpenAPI account, you can also access the ChatGPT. You can see over here. So here you can enter the prompt. A prompt is simply what you type to ask ChatGPT for information or help. It can be a question, a task, or command. The better your prompt, the better responses you will get from the ChatGPT. For example, if you type here, explain how the internet works, and hit enter, and here you will get the answer from the ChatGPT. So prompts guide ChatGPT to give you the right answer. Next, let us say you want to create a blog post. Then what you can do is you can ask for ChatGPT like create a blog post on Python data types, and hit enter, and just scroll down, and here you can see understanding Python data types. So this is the blog post title and this is the blog post content. So this is how ChatGPT will help you to generate the content for your blog post. And if you are not happy with the content, you can just add the follow-up questions. Next, let us say you want to ask ChatGPT regarding the data structure. Let us say explain the array data structure in Java. Well, notice here the pop-up. Thanks for trying ChatGPT. Log in or sign up to get smarter responses, upload files and images and more. Well, if you want to create the account, you can just click on sign up. If you have already account, then just log in. If you want to stay logged out, you can just click on stay logged out over here. Okay. So this is how we can use ChatGPT without creating the account. If you create an account, then you will get smarter responses, upload files, analyze images and more by logged in. So if you want to try the ChatGPT for free, then just create an account and access all the free advanced features. Now let us see how to create an account. So just go ahead and click on the sign up button over here. And here, in order to create an account, you have a couple of options, like you can create an account using Google, Microsoft account or Apple. Okay, so here we are going to create an account using email ID. So here just type the email ID. So once you provide the valid email address that you check regularly, next click on continue button over here, and next choose a password that is secure and easy for you to remember. Next click on continue button. Next, here we need to enter the verification code. Well, open the email inbox and just check for the email. It has a verification code. So here in my case, I have opened the email inbox and here I got the verification code. So just click on this email and just copy the verification code and just go back to again the ChatGPT user interface, and here just enter the verification code and go ahead and click on the continue button. And here you need to enter the full name. So here I'm going to give my name. You can give any name that you want. Next, enter the birth date. Next, go ahead and click on continue button. Now you have successfully created an account and you logged into the ChatGPT. Next, you can start using ChatGPT immediately. The free version offers great features to help you get started. If you need a faster responses and advanced capabilities, you can explore the pro version as well. Next, go ahead and expand this, and here you can see ChatGPT Plus. If you want to upgrade or if you want to get the pro version of ChatGPT, you can just click on this upgrade button and follow the steps accordingly. And here right now the free version, that is ChatGPT. So this is basically ChatGPT 4.0 min version. So the free version is great for beginners and casual users. It provides access to ChatGPT 4.0 mini version, which is capable of handling most basic tasks, including you can ask general knowledge questions or get help with simple problems. For example, let us ask one simple general knowledge question like, what is the capital of India? And just hit enter. And notice here the response, the capital of India is New Delhi. Next, let us say you want to get help with simple problems. For example, let us say you are a programmer and you want to write a simple Python program. So for example, let us enter the prompt, write a Python program to calculate the factorial of a number, and hit enter. And here you can see ChatGPT provides the complete solution for this question or a problem. Okay, and you can see here there are different solutions. So this is how ChatGPT will help to generate the code or solve the specific problems. The free version can help you to write the essays or short articles and stories. For example, here let us ask ChatGPT to create a blog post on Python arrays, and in a parenthesis you can tell ChatGPT like, produce the content which follows SEO standards. Next, hit enter. So this free version of ChatGPT takes some time to generate the response because of high traffic, but the paid version gives the response immediately. It won't wait a longer because it's a paid version. And if you can notice the blog post content over here, so this blog post basically follows the SEO standards like the title and the subtitles, and the content looks good. Okay, so this is how you can use ChatGPT free version to generate the content for your blog post or the articles. So this is awesome, isn't it? If you are not happy with the blog post content, then you can add the follow-up questions like the improvement in the content. Okay, so this is how you can ask ChatGPT to create the or generate the content. Next, just close this. Next, let us see the other free available features. So you can see attach files. So here you can attach the image or the PDF files and tell ChatGPT what you want from that attached file. And here you can view the tools like you can generate the picture using ChatGPT, you can search in the web using ChatGPT, you can access the canvas using ChatGPT, and you can search in a web using ChatGPT. So these are the free available features in a free version of ChatGPT. So apart from this, you can also access the third-party GPTs as well. You can see the explore GPTs option. Just click on it, and here you can see the featured GPTs. So these are the chat GPTs that is created by third-party companies. Well, basically chat GPT allows us to create our own GPT by using this create button. Well, this create feature is available for only ChatGPT Plus users, that is for paid version. Okay, and here trending. So these are the GPTs by ChatGPT community, and these are the GPTs created by ChatGPT team, and these are the GPTs useful for writing the content. Okay, so these are the free available GPTs. You can go ahead and access them as per your requirement. Next, let us quickly explore the Pro plan features. The Pro plan, known as ChatGPT Plus, costs around $20 per month and offers several important benefits. Well, I have been using both ChatGPT Plus and ChatGPT free version, and what I understood that the ChatGPT Plus gives more accurate answers or a more accurate response in a faster way, but the free version sometimes gives the inaccurate information. And the pro version, that is ChatGPT Plus, is ideal for professionals, students and businesses who need the consistent performance and access to the advanced AI models. Now you may have a question like how to decide which plan is best for you. Well, stick with the free plan if you are a casual user who only needs a basic help occasionally. Stick with the free plan if you want to explore ChatGPT's capabilities before committing to a subscription, and upgrade to the Pro plan if you use ChatGPT regularly for work, study or content creation. Upgrade to Pro plan if you want access to GPT-4 models for better performance and faster responses. Upgrade to the Pro plan if you need a reliable service during high traffic times. So remember, you can always start with the pre plan and switch to the Pro plan later if needed. Okay, I hope you understood how to set up the OpenAPI account and the different pricing plans as well. Alright, great. I will see you in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, let us discuss how to generate a code with ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT is one of the amazing AI tools that we can use to generate the code, debug the code, review the code. So ChatGPT is very helpful for software developers or the programmers. So in this video, let us see how to generate a code with ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT isn't just for writing the content or answering the questions. It's also a powerful tool for generating code, solving programming problems, and learning new programming languages. Whether you are a beginner or experienced developer, ChatGPT can assist you in many coding tasks. So in this video, we will explore different ways to use ChatGPT for generating code with practical prompts and examples. So here I am using free version of ChatGPT. And let us say you are a Python developer and you want some piece of code, like you want to write a Python function that checks if a number is prime. Next, hit enter. And here you can see the response of the ChatGPT. Here is a Python function to check if a number is prime, and this is a piece of code. So this is how the ChatGPT generates a code on the fly. Okay, and you can see how it works. So it will also provide the explanation like how this piece of code works. If you are not happy with this piece of code, then you can add the follow-up questions. For example, let us say you want to add comments in this piece of code. Then you can just ask like add comments in the above Python function and hit enter. And here you can see here is the updated function with detailed comments. So this is how you can ask ChatGPT to add a comments to the code. Okay, ChatGPT will provide a descriptive comments for each piece of code like this. Next, let us say you are working on real-time Java project and you want to write the utility code that checks whether the object is null or not. So instead of writing the code line by line, you can ask ChatGPT to generate the code for you. For example, here just write the prompt, write a Java utility function that checks null for objects. So notice here the ChatGPT generated code. This code looks good, right? And it follows the standards, like this utility function is basically a static function, and ChatGPT also added a comments to this function, and it also provides some piece of code to test the function as well. So this is how the ChatGPT generate the code on the fly. Well, whenever you work on real-time Java project, you don't have to write the same piece of code again and again. You can just ask ChatGPT to generate the code. So ChatGPT will generate the code, and you can just copy that code and you can use in your project. Okay, and it will also give you the explanation of each and every line of the code as well. Next, let us see how ChatGPT generate the code for web development. So let us say you need a HTML form with the fields for name, email and message. Then here just ask ChatGPT with the prompt, generate an HTML form with fields for name, email and message. So just mention the fields over here. So whatever the requirement you have, you can mention in the prompt, so that ChatGPT can write the code for your requirement. And next hit enter, and notice here the ChatGPT's response. So this example shows how you can quickly generate web forms using ChatGPT. It's great for developers who need to build a prototypes or a simple web pages fast. And in order to verify this, you can just copy the code, and here in a new tab just search for HTML online compiler and choose one of the online compiler and just paste the code and just run the code. And here you can see the HTML form with the fields name, email, message. Okay, this looks good, right? And if you need some changes in this form, then you can also add the follow-up questions to the ChatGPT. For example, let us say you want to update the field names. Let us say you want the HTML form with fields like first name, last name, email and message. Then you can just add the follow-up question. For example, update the above HTML form with fields first name, last name, email and message, and say also add the validation. Let us see how ChatGPT generates the code. It says like, here is the updated HTML form with the fields for first name, last name, email and message along with client side validation. So awesome, right? And if you can closely observe the code over here, ChatGPT follows the standards. It adds the comments and proper code format. This looks good, right? And even you can see the explanation for each piece of code. Next, in order to test this, just copy the code, go to the online compiler and just paste it over here and run the code. And here you can see the HTML form, first name, last name, email, message. And you can see the validations as well. Okay, so this is how basically we can use ChatGPT to generate the code for web development. Next, ChatGPT can also help you to debug the code as well. For example, let us say if there is any issue in the code, then you can ask ChatGPT to find the issue or error in the code. For example, let us write one piece of code that has some error. So here just search for Java program to calculate factorial of a number and just get the factorial logic from one of the website, and just go to the ChatGPT and here just enter this piece of code, and within this piece of code intentionally let us change some logic so that we will see how the ChatGPT find the error or debug the error, right? So here just remove this I and hit enter. So you can see the error in the provided Java code lies in this commented line. So you can see here, ChatGPT is smart enough to identify in which line the error occurred. So amazing, right? And you can see ChatGPT also provides a solution. So whenever you work on real-time project and if you get some errors, then you can just paste that piece of code and ask ChatGPT to find the error in that piece of code. So ChatGPT will definitely help you. So this is how you can use the ChatGPT to debug the code or find the errors in the code. So I am here using Java, but you can use any programming language. Next, let us say you have a requirement to write the SQL queries. Then you can ask ChatGPT to write the SQL query for you. For example, let us ask ChatGPT to write a SQL query to fetch the names of all the employees in the department. Let us see what ChatGPT will do. So ChatGPT basically assumes that the employees table has these columns, and according to these columns it writes the query. So whenever you ask ChatGPT to write the SQL query, then make sure to provide the table name and columns so that ChatGPT will create the SQL query accordingly. If you just write the prompt like this, then it assumes that this is the table and these are the columns, and then it will create the SQL query like this. So this is how you can use ChatGPT to generate the SQL queries as well. Next, let us say you are working on real-time project and you have a requirement to build the CRUD REST APIs. Then don't just write the code line by line. Ask ChatGPT to create or generate the code for CRUD REST APIs so that you can save your time and boost your productivity. Alright, so here let us ask ChatGPT to generate the CRUD REST APIs for one of the resource. Let us say library management system. So here just write the prompt like create a CRUD REST APIs for book, and this is basically a library management system project. So whatever the project you are working on, you can specify over here. And let us say you are using Spring Boot, so you can also mention the technology in the prompt so that ChatGPT understands the context. Okay, create the CRUD REST APIs for book using Spring Boot 3. You can also mention the particular version of Spring Boot that you are using. Next, let us say you want to use Spring Data API at a backend. You can just mention that as well. And if you want to use the database, let us say MySQL, you can mention that as well, like this. Here is a complete example of creating CRUD REST APIs for managing books in a library management system using Spring Boot 3, Spring Data API, and MySQL. And here you can see the step-by-step details. Project setup. So first we need to do the project setup, and we need to add all these dependencies to the pom.xml file, and then we need to configure the MySQL database in application.properties file or application.yml file. Next, here is the book entity class code. Book class has ID, title, author, publisher, year, and then repository, and then service, and then controller. Okay, and here within a controller you can see the CRUD REST APIs for book resource. Get all books, get book by ID, create book, update book, delete book. Okay, next create the database and test the book related endpoints. So basically ChatGPT provided all the details step by step. You just follow these steps to build the CRUD REST APIs for book entity. Okay, so this is how ChatGPT generates the code. So just don't write the code line by line. Ask ChatGPT to generate the code for you so that you can save your time. Next, apart from generating the code, you can also use ChatGPT to learn new programming. For example, let us say you want to learn the Python programming. Then what you can ask ChatGPT is that I am a newcomer and I want to learn the Python programming in depth. So you can just ask ChatGPT everything. For example, I am a beginner and I want to learn Python programming language. So suggest the important topics. And notice here the ChatGPT response. Basics of Python, variables and data types, input and output, operators, control flow statements, data structures, functions, modules and packages, file handling, error and exception handling, object-oriented programming, libraries and tools. So ChatGPT basically suggests all these topics in order to learn the Python programming in depth. Next, you can just copy this and you can ask ChatGPT to produce the content for this particular topic. For example, here, create a content for basics of Python and just hit enter. Next, you can ask ChatGPT to create a content for other Python topics as well. Well, apart from generating the code, ChatGPT can also help you to write the comments in your existing code. Let us say you are working on real-time project and if you want to add a comments to your code, then just ask ChatGPT to add a comments to the code. So ChatGPT will add a proper comments to each and every piece of code. For instance, let us say this piece of code over here. So this is the code that finds a factorial of number using loop in a Java, and you want to add a comments to this code. Then what you can do is you can just ask ChatGPT for you. So here just tell ChatGPT to add comments to the below Java code and just paste the code over here and hit enter, and look at the ChatGPT response over here and you can see the comments. So ChatGPT basically add a comment to each line of the code. So this is awesome, right? You don't have to write the comments line by line. Just ask ChatGPT, it will do for you so that you can save your time. So ChatGPT is an amazing tool that you can use in your day-to-day project work. It can generate the code for you, it can debug the code for you and find the errors for you. It can review your code and you can use ChatGPT to learn new things. Okay, it is awesome tool, just try it out. So in this video I am using ChatGPT free version, but you can also upgrade it to ChatGPT Plus as well. So ChatGPT Plus provides a few more advanced features that you can use in your projects. So in upcoming videos I also cover about ChatGPT Plus as well. Alright, great, I will see you in the next video. The top 10 ChatGPT use cases for developers. Whether you are a beginner coder, an experienced software engineer, ChatGPT can significantly boost your productivity and help you automate various tasks. So in this video I am going to use ChatGPT Plus, that is paid version, which provides faster responses and better performance. Without further ado, let us dive into the first use case, generating boilerplate code. So boilerplate code means repetitive code. Well, writing boilerplate code or a repetitive code can be a tedious and time consuming. ChatGPT can help generate repetitive code structures quickly, allowing you to focus on the more complex parts of your project. For example, we can create a RESTful web services in Java using Spring Boot. So whenever you have a requirement to develop the REST APIs using Java, then typically we use a Spring Boot, right? So instead of writing the same boilerplate code, that is REST APIs, we can tell ChatGPT to generate the repetitive code structure quickly, and you can just focus on your business logic of your project. Okay, so let us go to the ChatGPT over here and let us enter the prompt and let us see how ChatGPT generates the boilerplate code. So here let us enter the prompt, generate a boilerplate code for REST API in Spring Boot using Spring Data GPI and MySQL with endpoints for code operations on product entity. Just submit this prompt. Notice here the ChatGPT response over here. ChatGPT basically generated the CRUD REST APIs for product entity using Spring Boot, Spring Data GPI and MySQL. You can see the step-by-step process. First, you need to set up the project and add these dependencies. Next, add the database related properties in application.properties file, and then create a product entity, and then create a product repository, and then create product service. And notice here the product service using field based injection, but you can also tell ChatGPT that use constructor based dependency injection. Okay. Next, product controller, it has CRUD REST APIs, and then you can run the application and you can test all these endpoints. So this is how you can ask ChatGPT to get the boilerplate code structure quickly, and then you can just copy this code and you can modify it as per your requirement. Okay. Well, if you are not happy with this content, or if you want to change something in the code, then you can ask follow-up question to the ChatGPT. For instance, let us say you want to use constructor based dependency injection instead of field injection. Then you can ask the follow-up question. For instance, here let us type the prompt, update the above content to use constructor based dependency injection. Let us see how ChatGPT will update the code. And you can notice here in a product service, the ChatGPT provided the code like ChatGPT removed the field based injection and provided constructor based dependency injection. So this is how you can tell ChatGPT to modify the code. Okay, so this is how you can quickly ask ChatGPT to generate the repetitive code structure so that you can save your time and boost your productivity. Let us take a look into the second use case, code refactoring. Refactoring code is essential for maintaining clean and efficient code bases. ChatGPT can help by suggesting improvements or rewriting a code in a more optimized way. So here go to the ChatGPT and here let us enter the prompt with some sample code and let us see how ChatGPT will refactor the code. So here is a prompt, refactor this Java code to improve readability and efficiency, and this is the sample code. Next, submit this prompt, and here look at here the response of the ChatGPT over here. So ChatGPT successfully refactored this code and added the comments in the code as well. Okay, this looks good. So this is how you can use ChatGPT to refactor the code. You can compare the code with ChatGPT generated code, and you can identify the differences. And ChatGPT also suggests the improvements over here. Okay, so you can read the improvements and accordingly you can implement it in your code. So this is one of the best use case of ChatGPT. So if you are working on legacy projects, then you can ask ChatGPT to refactor the code and suggest the improvements. And you can ask ChatGPT to suggest the latest version of the APIs, the latest version of the methods. Okay, so ChatGPT will help you to upgrade your legacy code base into the up-to-date code base. Let us take a look into the use case 3, writing unit tests. Unit testing is a crucial part of the development process, but writing unit tests can sometimes feel tedious. So ChatGPT can generate unit tests for your functions, saving your time. So let us see how we can use ChatGPT to generate the unit tests. So here just go to the ChatGPT again, and here let us enter the prompt, write a unit test in Java using JUnit for the following method. So let us give. So look at here the response of the ChatGPT. ChatGPT generated the unit test cases for the given method, and ChatGPT basically covered all the use cases of the unit tests. For example, it covered positive use cases, negative use cases, and other use cases as well. This is awesome, right? So you don't have to write the unit test cases line by line. You just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will provide you the complete unit test cases for a given method or a class or any functions within a class. Okay, perfect. So this is how you can ask ChatGPT to write the unit test cases. So whenever you work on real-time projects, you need to write a unit test cases to test your logic, isn't it? So ChatGPT can help you to write the unit test cases for testing your logic. You don't have to spend a lot of time to write the unit test cases. Okay, so this is one of the best use case of using ChatGPT. Next, let us take a look into next use case, explaining the complex code. Sometimes you encounter the code that is difficult to understand, especially in the legacy systems. ChatGPT can help by explaining the complex code in a simple terms. Well, whenever you work on the real-time project, that is a old project or a legacy project, then you may encounter the code that is difficult for you to understand. So here comes the ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT to explain the complex code in a simple terms, and ChatGPT will help you explain the complex code step by step, and even ChatGPT will help you to refactor the code and suggest the improvements as well. Okay, for example, go to the ChatGPT and here just enter the prompt, explain this piece of code in a simple terms, and just give the complex code that you want the explanation. For example, here I have given some sample code over here, and just submit the prompt to the ChatGPT, and look at here, ChatGPT will explain the complex code step by step. You can just read the steps, and you can understand the complex code accordingly. So this is how ChatGPT will help you to understand the complex code in a simple terms. And if you are not understanding the code or the steps, you can ask ChatGPT the follow-up questions as well. Okay, great. Let us take a look into the next use case, generating documentation. Well, good documentation is essential for any project, but writing it can be time consuming, right? ChatGPT can help generate documentation for your functions, classes, and REST APIs as well. For example, let us see how ChatGPT generates the documentation for CRUD REST APIs. So here I'm going to just search for a sample code, Spring Boot CRUD REST APIs Java guides. So I'm going to just copy the sample code from my blog, and we'll submit that code to the ChatGPT, and we'll see how ChatGPT generate the documentation. Okay, just search for the REST API. So here is the controller, and here I'm going to simply copy this piece of code, and I can go to ChatGPT, and here just enter the prompt, generate documentation for the following CRUD REST APIs, and just paste the code over here and hit enter, and let us see how ChatGPT generate the documentation. And look at here, step by step, the base URL, and create user is the endpoint name, and this is the endpoint URL, and description, request body, response. So ChatGPT basically provides the dummy data like the request, response, and this is the get user by ID REST API, and this is the documentation for this REST API like endpoint, its description, path parameter, response, request. This is awesome, right? You don't have to write the documentation for the APIs. ChatGPT can help you to write the documentation like this. Okay, even you can ask ChatGPT to generate the documentation for particular function or a class as well. For example, here let us say generate documentation for the following Java script function, and just paste the JavaScript function over here and submit the prompt, and look at here the response of the ChatGPT. Description of the function followed by syntax, followed by parameters, return value, and examples. This is awesome, right? ChatGPT will give the documentation in standard and proper way, so you don't have to generate the documentation manually. ChatGPT can help you to generate a documentation so that you can save your time and boost your productivity. Let us take a look into next use case, debugging code. Debugging is a daily task for developers, and ChatGPT can assist by identifying the potential issues in your code. For example, let us give one of the code that has errors, and let us see how ChatGPT can find the error or a bug in the code. So here just enter the prompt, find the bug in the Java code, in this Java code, and just paste the code that has a error or a bug. So here I'm going to give some sample code over here. It has the issue like array index out of the bound exception. Okay, so just submit this request or the prompt and let us see how ChatGPT can find the bug and provide the explanation and solutions. And look at here the response of the ChatGPT. ChatGPT provides the explanation for the bug and the problem in the code, and also it provides the corrected code so that you can just copy and correct your code, and it also provides the improvements and explanation for changes. This is awesome, right? You don't have to spend a lot of time to identify the bug or errors. Just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will help you to find the bugs in your code. Okay, so this is one of the best use case, and a lot of the developers using ChatGPT to achieve this kind of use cases. Okay, let us take a look into the next use case, learning new programming languages. If you want to learn new programming language, ChatGPT can help you on that. It can provide the explanations, syntax examples, and comparisons with languages you already know. So ChatGPT can help you learning new programming languages a lot. For example, go to the ChatGPT and just enter the prompt like, if you want to learn the Python programming step by step, then you can just ask ChatGPT first like, I want to learn Python programming, so suggest the topics step by step. So ChatGPT will first outline the topics. So first you have to learn the basics of Python, and then operators and expressions and control structures, functions, data structures, strings in Python, hooks concepts, file handling. Okay, so step by step you can follow this guide. So next what you can do is you can ask follow-up question like, explain the basics of Python, and then explain the operators and expressions, and then control structures, like that. So in this way you can ask ChatGPT to explain each topic in depth, and you can also ask ChatGPT to provide the programs or examples for practice as well. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on the tutorials. You just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will provide you everything to learn the new programming language. Let us take a look into the next use case, automating routine tasks. So developers often have a routine task like generating configuration files or setting up the CI/CD pipelines. So ChatGPT can help automate these tasks by generating the scripts. For example, let us say we want to generate a YML file for GitHub Actions workflow that runs a text on a push. For example, here just enter the prompt, generate a YML file for a GitHub Actions workflow that runs tests on push, and just submit the prompt. And here you can see ChatGPT provides a simple GitHub Actions YML workflow file. So this YML file basically runs a test on every push, and it also provides the explanation. Okay, so you don't have to spend a lot of time. You can just copy this script and you can automate your task. You don't have to daily type the script manually. So developers also use the email box, so you can ask ChatGPT to generate an email template and you can just update and use as per your requirement. So developers also use the commands, so you can ask ChatGPT to create a cheat sheets so that you can use that cheat sheet daily. Alright, so this is how ChatGPT can help you to automate the routine tasks. Let us take a look into the next use case, creating regular expression patterns. Well, writing regular expressions can be tricky. ChatGPT can help you create regular expression patterns based on your requirements. For example, let us say we want to create a regular expression pattern to validate an email address. Then we can just ask ChatGPT to do this. For example, just enter the prompt, write a regex pattern to validate an email address, and just submit the prompt. Look at here the ChatGPT response. So this is the regex pattern to validate the email address. This is the explanation for the regular expression pattern, and these are the examples to test the regular expression pattern. This is awesome, right? So ChatGPT will provide all the things that you want. So you just have to provide the proper prompt to the ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you to achieve your task like this. Let us take a look into the next use case, preparing for coding interviews. If you are preparing for the coding interview, ChatGPT can help you practice by generating coding questions, providing hints, and even explaining the solutions. For example, let us say you want ChatGPT to generate 5 coding interview questions for Java developer and also provide the solutions. So here let us ask the ChatGPT to generate 5 coding interview questions for a Java developer. So here I am using Java developer, but you can, if you are a front-end developer or Android developer, you can specify accordingly and then provide solutions as well and just submit the prompt. And here you can see, so these are the top 5 interview coding questions for Java developers with solutions. Reverse a string and the solution, and the check for palindrome and the solution, find the missing number in array with a solution, find the first non-repeating character solution, find the longest increasing subsequence and the solution. So this is how ChatGPT can help you to prepare for the coding interviews. And if you want the explanation for the solution further, you can ask the follow-up question. For example, if you want the explanation for this code, you can just copy the code and just ask ChatGPT to explain the following code and just paste the code over here. That's it. ChatGPT will help you explaining the given code step by step. You can see the purpose of the code, the steps, and also you can test the code by using the main method like this, and it will also provide the input and output. Okay, awesome, right? You don't have to spend a lot of time to understand the code. You just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT will explain the code step by step. Okay, great. So this is how you can ask ChatGPT to generate the interview questions covering different topics like data structure, algorithms, object-oriented programming, along with the detailed solutions. So let me quickly recap the top 10 ChatGPT use cases for developers that we discussed in this video. First, generating boilerplate code. Second, code refactoring. Third, writing unit test cases. Fourth, explaining the complex code. Fifth, generating documentation. Sixth, debugging code. Seventh, learning new programming languages. Eighth, automating routine tasks. Ninth, creating regular expression patterns. 10th, preparing for the coding interview. So these are the top 10 ChatGPT use cases for developers. Whether you are looking to save time, improve code quality, or learn new skills, ChatGPT can be a powerful assistant in your development journey. Hey there everyone, Ramesh here, back again with another video. In this video, we'll take a look into how to use ChatGPT as a Linux terminal. Well, you might be wondering, why would I use ChatGPT as a Linux terminal? So here are some practical use cases. If you are new to Linux, this is the risk-free way to practice commands and understand their behavior. You can explore various commands without worrying about affecting the real system, because ChatGPT basically simulates the real-time environment of Linux terminal. It's great for debugging command syntax or testing small script. So this Linux terminal in ChatGPT, perfect for learners and trainers to demonstrate the Linux concepts. Well, before jumping to the Linux terminal in a ChatGPT, let us first understand what a Linux terminal is. A Linux terminal is a command line interface where users interact with the system by typing text commands. It's powerful, efficient, and widely used by developers for tasks like file management, programming, and system administration. Now imagine if you don't have access to the actual Linux environment, or you want to experiment without installing any software. That's where the ChatGPT comes into picture. So quick refresher, ChatGPT is an advanced AI model trained to generate human-like responses. But it's not just about casual conversations. ChatGPT can take on personas or mimic tools, including a Linux terminal. This means you can type Linux commands and ChatGPT will respond to you as if it were a real terminal. Sounds cool, right? Let's go ahead and let us see how it works. So to get started, open the ChatGPT. You can use any interface where it's accessible. Now type the following prompt. You are in Linux terminal. I will type commands and you will respond as a terminal would. If I type something invalid, you will let me know. Let's begin. Just hit enter. This prompt tells ChatGPT to act like a Linux terminal. It's that simple. Once you have entered this, ChatGPT will switch into terminal mode. Now that we are in a terminal mode, let us start with some basic commands. For example, let us type ls. ChatGPT will respond with a list of files and directories as if it's an actual Linux file system. Remember, this is a simulated environment, so the results might not be the same as your local machine. Next, let us try another command, pwd, and hit enter. So this will return the current working directory. Again, it's a simulated, but the response mimic a real Linux terminal. Next, what about running programs or scripts? Let us try something simple. So type this command, echo hello world. And there we go. ChatGPT will display the output as expected. However, it's important to note that it's simulated. Let us try a few more examples. So here just type Python 3 -c and then print 5 plus 3. So this is the Python script and just hit enter. And notice here ChatGPT will simulate the Python output and return 8. It's not actually running the script but mimicking the expected output. Next, let us try bash command to loop through the numbers. Type for I in 1 to 5, do echo and then done and submit the prompt. And notice here ChatGPT will respond with a simulated output of numbers 1 through 5 and as you expected the loop in a real terminal. Finally, let us simulate listing active network connections. So just type net stat -an, submit the prompt. So ChatGPT will respond a sample output showing the table of simulated network connections. While it's not a real, it's structured just like the real command output. Now what happens if you type an invalid command? Let us see. So just type ABCD and just submit the prompt. And notice here, ChatGPT will respond with an error message, just like a real terminal. This is great for learning because it helps you understand what went wrong. Okay, next let us try some advanced commands. So here, just type the command top and next submit the prompt. And here you can see ChatGPT will simulate a table of processors, CPU usage and memory usage. Of course, the data isn't a real, but structure is accurate. Okay, next let us say you want to simulate a network related commands. So just type ping google.com and submit the prompt. And look at here, ChatGPT will respond as if it's a pinging Google, complete with latency data. Okay, so this is how you can use some advanced commands in a Linux terminal. Next, you might be wondering, why would I use ChatGPT as a Linux terminal? So here are the practical applications. Learning Linux. If you are new to Linux, this is a risk-free way to practice commands and understand their behavior. Exploring Linux commands. You can explore various Linux commands without worrying about affecting the real system. Next, debugging. It's a great for debugging command syntax or testing small scripts. Next, teaching and demos. This is perfect for learners and trainers to demonstrate the Linux concept. So these are the use cases and applications why you use ChatGPT as a Linux terminal. Next, limitations of ChatGPT as a Linux terminal. Of course, ChatGPT isn't perfect. There are some limitations you should be aware of. No real execution. ChatGPT does not actually execute the commands. It only simulates the responses. Next, limit context. The simulated file system and data might not reflect a real Linux environment. No internet access. Commands requiring internet access, like downloading files, won't work accurately. Even with these limitations, it's an excellent tool for learning and experimenting. Before we wrap up, here are some of the pro tips to get the most out of this feature. Use detailed prompts. Be specific when instructing ChatGPT to act as a terminal. For example, include details like file structure or a command behavior. Combine with learning resources. Pair with this feature with Linux tutorials for a hands-on learning experience. Experiment freely. Don't be afraid to try different commands and see how ChatGPT responds. It's a great way to build confidence. Well, let me recap what we have discussed in this video. We have explored how ChatGPT can act as a Linux terminal, from running basic commands to simulating advanced ones. It's a power tool for learning, teaching, and experimenting. Hey there everyone, Ramesh here, back again with another video. In this video I want to show you how ChatGPT can act as a JavaScript console. Yes, you can use ChatGPT to simulate JavaScript commands, debug your JavaScript code, and explore programming concepts, all within this amazing AI tool. By end of this video, you will learn how to execute JavaScript commands in ChatGPT, how to run JavaScript programs in a ChatGPT, how to debug and experiment with ChatGPT concepts, use it as a learning tool for coding without the need for actual browser console. Alright, so before jumping into ChatGPT's simulation, let us briefly discuss what a JavaScript console is. A JavaScript console is a built-in browser tool that allows developers to test code snippets of JavaScript code, debug errors in their code, log outputs, and interact with web applications. Now imagine a scenario where you don't have access to browser but still want to practice JavaScript. So that's where ChatGPT steps in as your virtual JavaScript console. To get started, open the ChatGPT and just enter the prompt. You are a JavaScript console. I will type JavaScript commands and programs. You will execute them and return the output. If the command or program is invalid, let's begin. Just submit the prompt. So this prompt configures ChatGPT to mimic the behavior of JavaScript console. Once you are ready, it's time to try some JavaScript commands. So let us start with basics. So here, just type the simple JavaScript command, that is console.log, and then pass hello world and just hit enter. So when you type this command, ChatGPT will simulate the output, and here you can see the output, hello world. So this is equivalent of logging a message to the console in the browser. For example, right click here and then inspect, and here go to the browser console, okay, and just clear it. And here from the ChatGPT, let me minimize this. From ChatGPT, just copy this console.log statement and go to the browser console again, and here just paste it and just submit it, and here you can see the output, hello world. So this is what ChatGPT responded here. Okay, so instead of using the browser built-in console like this, we can use ChatGPT to act as this browser console over here. So imagine a scenario where you don't have access to the browser but still want to practice the JavaScript. Then you can use ChatGPT as a JavaScript console. Next, let us see declaring the variables. So here just type the JavaScript code. Let a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and this is the console statement to add these two numbers, and just submit this prompt. And ChatGPT basically evaluates the expression and returns the result 30. It's a great way to test simple mathematical operations and variable declarations. Next, let us see the JavaScript function. So just type the JavaScript function here and just submit this prompt. And notice the output over here, hello Ananya. So this demonstrates how to define and call the JavaScript function. Next, let us try JavaScript arrays and loops. So here just type the JavaScript code, let fruits, and then define the fruits. So this is the array, And here we are iterating over array and printing each element to the console. Next, let us submit this prompt. So ChatGPT will simulate the output as if it's iterating through the array. You can see the output apple, banana, mango. Next, let us try object manipulation. So here just type the JavaScript code, let person, name and age. And here we are accessing the object name by using person.name, and just submit this prompt. So this will display Rahul, demonstrating how you can work with objects. Okay, next let us see how to run the JavaScript programs. So here is a JavaScript program to check if a number is even or odd. So just I'm going to copy this JavaScript program, and here I'm going to paste as a prompt in the ChatGPT, and I'm going to submit this prompt. Let us see how ChatGPT will respond. You can see ChatGPT is analyzing the code and it responded as a 12 is a even number. So this is the correct output. Next, let us try a few more JavaScript programs. So here this is a JavaScript program to find the factorial of a number. So just copy this JavaScript program and go to the ChatGPT and paste as a prompt and just submit the prompt, and let us see how ChatGPT responds. So it is analyzing the code, and there we go. You can see the output. The factorial of 5 is 120. So this is correct output, right? So ChatGPT will give you the correct output for your code snippets. Next, you can also try different JavaScript programs, like this is a JavaScript program to reverse a string. Just copy this JavaScript code and just paste it over here and submit the prompt, and you can see the original string hello, and the output you can see this is the reverse string of this hello. So this is how you can use ChatGPT to quickly run the JavaScript code and get the output. Okay, you don't have to use the IDE or the online compiler. You can use ChatGPT to execute the JavaScript code like this. This is awesome, isn't it? Now let us see how ChatGPT can help debug JavaScript code. So let us type the JavaScript code as a prompt. It has some syntax error. So here you can see console.log, and here we haven't specified the double quote over here. So I'm going to just remove it. Now let us see how ChatGPT debug this code and find the syntax errors. So just submit the prompt, and here you can see the ChatGPT's response. Your JavaScript command contains syntax error because the string is not properly closed with matching code. It should be like this. Okay, so ChatGPT will give you the solution. So it finds the error and it corrects that code, and it will give that code for you so that you can quickly use this code in your project. Now let us see how ChatGPT can fix the logical errors. So let us say you made a mistake while writing the logic in the JavaScript code. Then how ChatGPT can debug that code and how it can find the logical errors. Even it will also provide the solution. For example, here this is the JavaScript program to find a factorial of a number, and here let us say we made a mistake in this factorial logic. So instead of multiplication, if we give addition and submit the prompt, next let us see how ChatGPT will find the error. So here you can see the JavaScript code contains a logical error in the loop. Specifically, the result variable uses plus equal to operator instead of star equal operator to calculate the factorial. This will lead to an incorrect output. Okay, and here is a corrected code, and you can see the corrected form plus equal to star equal. So this is how ChatGPT go through the code and it debug the code and find the logical errors as well. This is awesome, right? Well, whenever you work on the real-time project and if you write the JavaScript code and if you want to verify whether the code has any logical errors or syntax error, etc. So this is how you can take the help from ChatGPT to verify whether the code has any issues or syntax issues, logical issues, or if you want any improvements, optimization, a lot more things. Okay, so ChatGPT will help you on all this stuff. Now let us take a look into limitations of ChatGPT as a JavaScript console. While ChatGPT is an amazing tool, it does have some limitations as a JavaScript console. No real execution. ChatGPT does not execute code. it only simulates the expected output. No DOM interaction. You can't manipulate the browser DOM or test UI related code. Limited debugging context. ChatGPT may not understand your entire project's context, so debugging complex applications can be tricky. So despite these limitations, ChatGPT is a fantastic tool for learning and experimenting with JavaScript concepts and JavaScript code. Now let us take a look into practical use cases of using ChatGPT as a JavaScript console. Learning JavaScript. If you are a beginner and want to learn JavaScript, then you can use ChatGPT as a JavaScript console to practice the JavaScript commands, programs, and concepts in a risk-free environment. Testing snippets. So you can use ChatGPT as a JavaScript console to quickly test small code snippets without opening a browser. Next, exploring functions. Experiment with JavaScript's built-in methods and advanced features. So ChatGPT will explain you step by step your code. Next, debugging syntax. Identify syntax error in your code and get quick fixes by using this ChatGPT as a JavaScript console. So these are the few practical use cases using ChatGPT as a JavaScript console. So before we wrap up, here are some tips to make the most out of this feature. Use detailed prompts. Be specific about your intent. For example, include the expected outputs or additional details in your prompt. Pair with learning resources. Combine ChatGPT with JavaScript tutorials for hands-on practice. Don't hesitate to try advanced concepts. ChatGPT is here to help. And that's it for today's video. We have explored how ChatGPT can act as a JavaScript console from executing basic commands and programs. So this is an amazing tool for learning, debugging, and experimenting. Hi everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, let us take a look into how to create a regex pattern or a regular expression pattern with ChatGPT. Well, writing regular expressions or a regex can feel complex. The good news is that ChatGPT can make it simple by helping you write and understand a regex pattern quickly and effectively. So in this lecture, let us explore how we can create the regex pattern with ChatGPT with real world scenarios. Okay, so before that, let us understand why to use regular expressions or a regex. The regular expressions are powerful tools for finding patterns in a text. They are commonly used for validating the inputs, for example, checking if an email or a phone number is valid, extracting the data, like it helps to pull the specific information from the large text files, replacing text, so regular expressions can clean up or format the data efficiently. So these are some commonly used use cases for regular expressions. Now let us see how ChatGPT helps create regular expression patterns. Well, ChatGPT simplifies the regex by generating the patterns based on your requirement. You just describe what you need and it does the heavy lifting. For example, let us say we want to extract the email addresses from a large amount of data. Then let us tell ChatGPT to create a regular expression pattern to extract the email addresses from a data. So here in a ChatGPT, just write the prompt, write a regex pattern to extract email addresses from a text, and just submit this prompt, and you can see here ChatGPT response. Here is the regex pattern that can be used to extract email addresses from a text, and this is the explanation for this regex pattern. So ChatGPT not only provides the regex pattern, it also explains the regex pattern as well as the example for using this regex pattern in a programming languages like in a Python. If you want to use this regex pattern in Java, you can add the follow-up question like how to use this regex pattern in Java. Okay, so this is how we can use ChatGPT to get the regular expression pattern for this email address. Next, let us take a look into one more example like validating the form inputs. So let us say we have a requirement to write the regular expression to validate the phone number in a specific format. Then we can ask ChatGPT to generate the regular expression accordingly. For example, let us say we want a regular expression pattern to validate the phone number in this particular format. Then we can just ask ChatGPT like this and just submit the prompt, and let us see how ChatGPT provides the regular expression pattern. You can see here So this is the regular expression pattern to validate the phone numbers in this format. So make sure that you specify the format in the prompt. So whatever the format you want, you can specify in the prompt like this. So accordingly, ChatGPT will generate the regular expression pattern. And look at here, ChatGPT also provides the explanation for the regular expression pattern as well as the usage of this regular expression in a Python programming. If you want to use the regular expression in Java, you can ask the follow-up question like use this regular expression in a Java. For example, just copy this regular expression and here let us add the prompt, use this regex in the Java code. Let us see how ChatGPT write the code to use this pattern in a Java. And notice here the response of the ChatGPT. Here is how you can use this regular expression in Java to validate the phone numbers. Okay, and explanation for this code and the output. So this is how we can use ChatGPT to generate the regular expression, and we can also tell ChatGPT how we can use that expression in a particular programming language. So in our case, we have seen how to use this regular expression in a Java programming language. Next, let us take a look into one more example like extracting the data from a logs. So logs can have a huge amount of data, right? So let us see how we can extract the IP addresses from a logs file. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to write the regular expression to extract the IP addresses from a text. And in order to get the regular expression, we can use the ChatGPT. So here let us ask ChatGPT to write the regular expression to extract IP addresses from a text. So text is basically a logs. Okay, just hit enter and look at here the response of the ChatGPT. Here is the regex pattern to extract IP addresses from this text, and this is the explanation for this regex pattern. So whenever you have a logs and if you want to extract some data, specific data, then you can use the regular expression, and in order to generate the regular expression you can use the ChatGPT like this. So this is one of the real world use case. Next, let us take a look into one more example like cleaning and formatting text. Well, regular expression isn't just for validation and extraction. You can also use it for cleaning and formatting text. For example, let us ask ChatGPT to write the regular expression to replace multiple spaces in a text with a single space. So here is the prompt. Write a regex to replace multiple spaces in a text with a single space. So let us say you have a large amount of data. Within that data you have multiple spaces and you want to replace all those multiple spaces with a single space. Then you can generate the regular expression for that. So in order to generate the regular expression, you can ask ChatGPT like this and just submit the prompt. And look at here the ChatGPT response. To replace multiple spaces with a single space in the text, you can use the following regex pattern. This is the explanation for this pattern, and this is the usage of this pattern using Python programming language. And here, this is the usage of using this regex pattern in a Java. So you can see here in a Java, this is the text, it has multiple spaces, and in order to remove the multiple spaces with a single space, this is the regular expression. So this is how we can use a regular expression in the Java code. So ChatGPT not only generates the regex, it also gives you the explanation, and it also shows you how to use the regex in the different programming languages like Python and Java. This is awesome, right? So whenever we work on the real-time projects, we typically have a requirement to write the regex pattern. So with the help of ChatGPT, we can generate the regex pattern and we can use in our projects, and we can save a lot of time. So if you try to write the regex pattern yourself, then you feel complex or you will spend a lot of time. And also if you want to test your regex pattern, you need to also write some use cases or some scenarios, right? So you can also use ChatGPT to do all those stuff. If you do it manually, it will take a lot of time. So just ask ChatGPT so that you can save your time and boost your productivity. Alright, so this is all about creating the regex pattern with ChatGPT. Alright, great. I will see you in the next lecture.